Great to know that since 9/11, immigration services have reformed their allegedly sloppy ways about letting just about anybody, and I mean anybody, into our country. Well, what's sloppy, you ask? You know, allegations about trading visas for sex and money, releasing known criminals into our community, stuff like that. Yeah, it'd be nice to know that these practices have ceased, but alas, according to my next guest, they have not. Michelle Machin is the author of Invasion: How America Still Welcomes Terrorists, Criminals, and Other Foreign Menaces to Our Shores. Also here, immigration attorney Michael Wiles. Okay, you're letting the cat out of the bag there for us, Michelle. Everybody's trying to feel more comfortable these days. What's the status quo?
Well, you know, this isn't a book that you want to read if you want to be lulled into complacency, Catherine. Since September 11th, every door remains swinging wide open. The front door, we continue to have a flood of visas issued from to people from countries all over the Middle East that sponsor terrorism and enable terrorism. In the back door, our borders remain completely porous from the north and the south, and we know that Middle Eastern Arabs are coming in from both those places, totally streaming in. We can't detect them, we can't deport them, we can't detain them, and the revolving door, our deportation system, is completely broke, and a lot of that is for, you know, the blame is laid on Congress and immigration lawyers who put criminal alien rights first over our public safety.
Yeah, give me an idea that since 9/11, we've had over a year now, people are being told things are changing. What is still the most egregious problem that concerns you the most?
Well, one thing that concerns me is that after September 11th, the INS finally fessed up and told us that there were more than 314,000 people who were wandering around, fugitives from justice, who had already been ordered deported by immigration judges, but whom we let go because we have not enough detention space and no will to actually kick them out of the country and keep them out of the country. And among those 314,000 are an unknown number of Middle Eastern single Arab males who could be sleeper cells waiting to be activated all across the country. We can't find them. The Justice Department has told us that less than 1,000 of them have been found and tracked since September 11th.
Yeah, of course, it's probably not much different, Michael, than when guys bond out. People bond out of jail, and all of a sudden they never show up for their trial, and we don't necessarily pull everybody in on a warrant, but it seems the INS would have had a better system over the years. Other countries have for a very long time.
Well, according to the author, I am not one of the immigration lawyers that led our country to be vulnerable. In fact, in 1999, I marched myself onto Capitol Hill when I testified that there were students, clerics, diplomats that were guising themselves in statuses. This is a very common sense issue, and the challenge we have is to calibrate now between protecting people's rights, the liberties that we're at war to fight for now, and making sure that we protect ourselves. Whether or not we're going to bifurcate the immigration service that is separated between its enforcement functions and its adjudication of applications is the debate that we're going through.
Well, we say that both of those functions are being performed in a pretty lousy fashion because, and Michelle, I'm not sort of trying to jump in on you, but it seems that both in terms of observation, tracking, this kind of thing, it's not happening. These people are lost.
Right.
Two, in terms of enforcement, you can come in and have several hearings, and the judge will deny, no, you're going to be deported, but we'll call you back when you get your rehearing, and you keep being released. They don't have a clue.
Catherine, you should have a few bites at the apple.
Why?
The seamless web that we're trying to create is necessary, and many of us have advocated it for years. But people should be entitled to a bite at the apple. But once they're given that day in court, they should be removed.
Not more bites of the apple than American citizens get.
I agree wholeheartedly that the people that are ordered deported and criminals should be removed from this country. But people that are adding to our economy and doing jobs that Americans wouldn't should be promoted, so long as they are not at national security risk.
Those guys aren't being deported because the first guys
I'm talking about the worst of the worst criminal aliens. And look at look at this. Look, Michael, I'm not saying that you're one of the bad guys, but what I'm saying is we have a system in place that is run essentially by left-wing judicial activists and appointees who are totally unaccountable and who put criminal alien rights over public safety and national security.
Let me ask you, Michelle, what would be due process? Because I know you can look at multiple hearings over one person and you go, wait a minute, at what point has due process been satisfied?
Well, I think there should be a one-strike-you're-out policy for people who are violating our immigration laws. And, you know, the fact is that they get so many bites of the apple that the apple is completely corrupted. If you've got people who have committed aggravated felonies, who are violent criminal aliens, who have repeatedly come into this country as recidivist criminal aliens, they should be kicked out immediately as soon as they're detected. And we've had expedited removal proceedings that were put in place in the past couple of years by Congress, and they've been totally decimated.
Okay, Michael?
We had a terrorist removal court that was never convened before 9/11. We need to cultivate intelligence. I agree with the author of this new book that we need to make sure that we take a bite out of this so that too many bites at the apple aren't facilitated.
How much of the time, and you were telling me this, how much of the time is it that the really bad guys, and they know they're bad guys, may be giving evidence? For example, we had an FBI informant with 2 of the hijackers. Well, those are guys that we should have been tossing out.
I cooperated in an investigation into the Cobart Towers attack many years ago. The problem is that when people come into our system, they take advantage of the system.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that we need to make sure that we cultivate. I'm in total agreement with you on this. We need to make sure that we cultivate this intelligence, give people a bite, and then remove them if they're criminals or they're going to put us at risk. The fact is that we do have students, we have scores of containers that go uninspected, and we need to make sure that the Mexican and Canadian borders are not porous.
Well, there is some agreement there, Michelle. Very important book. Michelle Malk and Michael Wilds. Thank you both.
Pleasure.
Now, we're going to have the update on the Michael Crow case for you tomorrow. Got carried away today. Now, 13th juror question. 64% of you feel Bill O'Reilly can prove his case against Steve Feldman. 36 says he can't. I'll take that bet. Hope to see you tomorrow.